2 weeks, my wife's been pretty distant, and it made me suspect something was going on. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything. Fast forward to yesterday, I couldn't ignore it any longer. I sat her down and told her I knew I didn't, and so she needed to talk. Cue the gaslighting and a few, "it's nothing like that's." Later, she admitted she's been talking to someone. I probed about this talking, and she swore they never met. It was someone she met online and developed a friendship with, which she claimed later turned into something else. She gave the "I still love you, but not in love with you" talk. Gosh, are cheaters this cliche? When I pressed further, she expressed she regretted her actions, but she didn't want to stay in this marriage anymore. Despite my misgivings, I managed to snoop in her phone and discovered the man is a friend of our mutual friend, whom we met at a barbecue we held at our place for my birthday. She's been in touch with him since that day, and despite her claims, their relationship had turned physical sometime in May. Barbecue was in April. It's August now, so they've been meeting behind my back for roughly 3 months. They were constantly expressing their love for each other, engaging in phone sex, and discussing their plans to meet again. She confessed to him that she felt terrible about betraying me, but her heart belonged to him now, so that's okay. Right now, I'm feeling pretty numb. I'm unsure whether I should be extremely upset that my marriage is ending, or relieved that I finally know the reason why my wife has been so sulky. I feel deceived because I've been a good husband, eager to provide, secure our future, doing more chores than her so she can have time for her post-grad, etc., but she still went behind my back. I know I wasn't perfect, but I damn near was. I've been staying in a hotel since yesterday because I'm so repulsed by her. I do not want to see her, nor live under the same roof as her. I'd appreciate any advice that can be offered, and thanks for taking the time to read this post. Update. The divorce is underway. My soon-to-be ex moved out in September after I served her the divorce papers. She's living with the AP in his house. AP's wife is also divorcing him. So it's 2 broken households because 2 adults couldn't put a lid on their horniness. Lately, she's been texting me emo messages with sad emojis. I've been doing my best to ignore her and leave her on read. Then yesterday, she sent me a wall of text expressing regret over how things turned out and how she's missing our family. She claimed that she wished I'd fought for her. No thanks. I was at a loss for words. I wanted to just tell her that it was her choices that have led us here, that she chose to betray us and then leave, setting us on this path. I didn't respond because I wasn't sure how to say it, and I wasn't even sure I wanted to. I believe she's now starting to realize grass isn't greener, that she threw away a stable, hard-working partner for an uncertain future. With her current partner, aka the AP, her future looks bleak. It just brings a smile to my lips when I remember how she kept referring to him as the soulmate and the one on Facebook. She publicized her relationship before she was out of the house, and now she's suffering the consequences. Her family doesn't talk to her, and her hen group has abandoned her. If her relationship with AP is falling apart, which I think it is, it's just the cherry on top. It's just absurd that she thinks I should have just fought harder for her when she was the one who blew up our marriage. Why should that responsibility fall on me? She wants to hold me accountable for the mess she's made of her life? Nope. Anyway, thanks for reading this far. I wrote this just to get it off my chest, but I'd appreciate all the advice. Now for some comments. Unbelievable how she's trying to flip the script and make you feel guilty. You were right to serve those divorce papers and move on. She made her bed. Now she has to lie in it. Keep ignoring her messages and focus on your own healing. You've got a brighter future ahead without her baggage. Why do the waywards keep demanding that we fight for them? My soon-to-be ex said the same immediately after I made it clear it was over. I simply stared at her and firmly declined. I believe it's a manipulation strategy employed by cheaters to somehow shift the blame to us. As soon as my soon-to-be ex caught on to my indifference, she understood and stopped all contact with me. Reading this made my blood boil. Cheaters are always looking for someone else to blame when their fantasy falls apart. You were a good husband, and now it's time to be good to yourself. Don't let her back into your life. She's facing the consequences of her actions, and that's not your problem anymore. Keep your head up. You'll get through this. Story 2. Hey y'all, sealed the deal yesterday. I'll try to be brief and keep the irrelevant whining out of it. 4 years ago, something told me to snoop texts. I did, and found she was secretly planning to take our 2-year-old and move into her friend's house, leaving me insolvent. I lived beyond my means. I worked 2 jobs to support my auto racing habit. Had it happened then, I'd have lost it all. I'd not been able to survive. I begged for an effort for our son. We went to counseling. The counselor started seeing her individually and us as a couple. She starts beginning to diagnose her with mental disorders, and predictably, she stops going. I did manage to get her to agree to work on things. P.S. Her only complaint of me the entire time is I don't help out enough around the house. I literally did everything but dishes and laundry. LOL. I improved. She did not. The 4 years since then, I gave up everything to save my family. My racing operation? Gone. 4-wheeler? Gone. Pretty much everything with a bigger goal in mind. I became super dad with all my free time. Every cent of the sales I had made were stockpiled in savings, in addition to continuing the second job to save. Within 3 years, I'd managed to pay off $109,000 in debt to become entirely debt-free, including my house. I never told her I was doing this. I was giving her every opportunity to save her family while preparing myself for the best exit ever if she didn't attempt to improve. Aside from killing all debt from my life, she also said I looked like a slob. So, I lost 140 pounds to become 170. I look and feel freaking fantastic. Not a single word of support or even acknowledgement. By comparison of never once even asking how I was doing through the 8-month torturous death my mother suffered from brain cancer. Not supporting me for losing a person wasn't surprising. With all my ducks in a row, it was time for me to end it on my terms. I went from a negative net worth to about $250,000 in those 4 years of slaving myself to death and minimalizing my life. Ball in my court. I laid my terms, and this is what it was going to be, or else I'd burn her $100K 401k to the ground, letting judges and attorneys handle it. Yesterday, the dissolution happened, and we are our whole selves now. In those 4 years, I turned my life around. She had an equal amount of time to either work on her marriage or prepare to move on. She elected to do neither. I'm allowing her to stay until summer break at school as to not affect our son as much. Hope she finds something soon. Thanks to the position I sacrificed to put myself in, I went from was negative net worth, no way to support myself, terrified, borderline suicidal, no way to provide for myself or my son. Now, at age 44, $250,000 net worth, completely debt-free, including a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom ranch in a wonderful neighborhood, retirement, and 529 savings. Not a bill to my name, and entering all of this in the best shape of my life. I quit the second job years ago and am, for most definitions, semi-retired. Ultimate work-life balance. I do independent consulting for work a day or 3 a week, which pays well enough to continue to save for retirement and college. I'm able to pay the bare bones living expenses, working about 1 to 3 full days a month since I crushed the living expenses down to 0. The extra time will be freaking excellent since I have 50-50 custody and 0 support, being as I am available anytime I want or need to be. My plan is to schedule my work days on days I don't have him during summer breaks, to spend all days with him all summer. Then to flip-flop that in winter months, getting him on the bus, getting my work done, and being back by the time school's out. Then the days I don't have him, I have free to do whatever I want. Whatever I freaking want. Divorcing is one of the most awful things to go through. Being divorced is fucking awesome. Sorry in advance for the shit brag. I'm just relieved beyond belief and honestly quite beside myself that this fucking worked. Heads up, brother and sisters. Build a plan and execute. Edit. Lots of luck, and from my experience, Ohio doesn't get too involved as long as both parties are agreeable and the kids being taken care of and being put first in matters. Some of this is very confusing, even to me. The story I kept getting from her was that we agreed and were going for the same thing. She stated to me she only wanted what she had earned and nothing more. We've always had separate finances, so this was easy. She said this, yet her attorney kept sending me ridiculous demands. First offer was she keeps everything of hers, half of all mine, and she keeps full custody of the kid. It went insanely miserably on my end, never knowing where I stood or who the bullshitter was. Either she was lying to me or her attorney was manipulating and milking her retainer. I stopped caring, trying to figure out who was torturing me. Made one single offer and let all involved know this was the deal, or else I turn it over to an attorney. Tune myself out and let it burn. I couldn't handle being involved much deeper than I already was, and was willing to pay a premium to let it be handled and only be involved in a need-to-know basis. After my firm offer, they sent over paperwork, and that was exactly what I had asked for, except for a parenting issues that was later corrected in my favor. After filed, an Ohio dissolution happens within 90 days, usually at a point between 60 to 90. She spent $3,000, either on a credit card or 401k loan, to make me more miserable and end up with less, thanks to the guy she hired. It's the perfect capper on the marriage and a big reminder of the kinds of decisions and selfishness that brought us to where we are. This is the way to go. From what I understood from the post, your ex never put in any effort to communicate nor rebuild the relationship. She had checked out completely. I'm glad you used those 4 years to your advantage, OP, and I'm glad you got to keep all your money. That's remarkable because men get screwed over horribly in divorce. Focus on yourself and especially your child. Your child will need a stable parent in his life, and something tells me it's not your ex. Good luck. Now for some comments. That's awesome. This post was perfect timing as I met the ex-wife today to sign the legal documents for our divorce. She left me almost 2 years ago for another man. Blindsided me. In that 2 years since, I've gotten in the best shape of my life. My business is going crazy. My personal life has become awesome again. Regained my friends and family. Life in general is fantastic. I guess seeing her today for the first time in almost a year brought up some emotions. Good and bad. This post was exactly what I needed. That's awesome. It proves the point that determination to improve your life is way better than sitting around feeling sorry for yourself. My ex screwed me over, but she gave me the gift of determination and motivation to make my life into what I've made it. And it's fucking glorious. Cheers to a better life.